Today we will discuss EMF equation of a DC machine. We have to see derivation of EMF equation of DC machine. As we know, we have to conclude that what are the parameters on which EMF equation depends. So EMF equation of a DC machine will depend on a machine constant, flux, and other parameter. As we go on starting our derivation, we can see this, that how to derive an EMF equation. Now, EMF generated will depend on, in a major way we can say, the magnetic flux and number of revolutions of the armature and a machine constant. And broadly, we can categorize the dependency of EMF equation on three parameters, in which a machine constant is a constant parameter that is not going to change. If the machine is same, then the machine constant is not being changed. Now the EMF generated will depend on flux of the machine. That in this derivation we will find out flux per pole of the machine and the speed with which it is being rotated in a case of generator. So to get a higher voltage, either flux per pole should be very high, this parameter phi should be very high, or the rotation of machine should be very high to get a higher voltage. Now, due to machine saturation constraints, the magnetic flux per pole, this parameter is restricted to some value. But the RPM can be changed or increased or decreased to obtain a desired voltage. So let us start with EMF equation. Let us consider, say, a conductor. Let us first consider a single conductor. A single conductor of length small l. If it is moving with velocity small v, in a field flux density capital B, then according to the law, it will experience a force, or say not, no, sorry, it will experience rather than experiencing a force, it will induce an EMF in it, and that EMF will be given as E equals to BLV. The EMF induced in a single conductor of a length L moving with a velocity v in a field flux density capital B will experience a EMF induced in it that will be equals to this expression, E equals to BLV. Now this is an EMF induced in a single conductor. Now if machine will have Z number of conductors, say, then the EMF induced in Z number of conductor would be multiply this E by Z. But this EMF will be multiplied by Z when all the conductors are connected in series. But as we know, not all conductors are connected in series, but they are connected in parallel paths, a combination of series and parallel paths. So the total number of conductors should be divided with number of parallel paths of the machine to get the EMF generated. So here we can see this above expression is showing ZBLV. This is BLV is a EMF generated in a single conductor multiplied by Z total number of conductors. That will give the total EMF generated. If the machine conductor all even a single conductor connected in series, then the EMF generated will be ZBLV. But as we know, in this diagram, the conductor is connected in series parallel combination, as can be seen in this diagram. The EMF generated should be divided with number of parallel path, that is capital A. that will give EMF E. Now this is a total EMF generated in a DC machine having Z number of conductors and having A number of parallel paths. This equation will give EMF generated. But we can see here in this expression V is a velocity, and it is very difficult being a mechanical parameter. Velocity is a mechanical or say physical parameter, so we have to get rid of it, this V, as well as this B is a flux density, and flux density has to be changed in other terms so that we can easily calculate our numerical. So this V has to be replaced with some other parameter, and this capital B has to be replaced with some other parameter for easier calculation of our numerical. So flux density B in a machine may be defined as a flux density B equals to flux per pole multiplied by number of poles divided by cylindrical area of the armature surface. Flux per pole is the flux across each pole of the machine, and if it is multiplied by number of poles, then it will give the total flux. Flux per pole multiplied by number of poles will give the total flux. Flux per pole is denoted by phi, and number of poles is denoted by capital P. And since we know armature is of cylindrical shape, so cylindrical area of the armature surface will be 2 pi RL. So flux density B may be written as phi into P upon 2 pi RL. Now here, as we know, P is the number of poles, R here is the radius of the armature, and L is the length of armature conductor. So from a flux density expression, we obtain that B equals to phi P upon 2 pi RL. Now we will substitute this value in above equation. We will substitute this value in above equation, and then we get, here we have substituted the value of B as phi P upon 2 pi RL. Here we have substituted it. Now velocity V may be written as, the velocity V may be written as 2 pi Rn by 60. That is the angular velocity in terms of angular velocity, because it the conductor is not moving, it is rotating with in a circular path. So V, small v may be written as 2 pi Rn upon 60. We have taken here a denominator, we have a 60 because it is in RPM rather than in RPS, and R here is radius of the armature. So substituting the value of capital B, here we have substituted the value of capital B in the last equation, and the value of small v here 2 pi Rn by 60 in a EMF equation, that was ZBLV upon A. Now cancelling the common terms, we obtained E equals to Z P phi N upon 60A. This is a total induced EMF in a DC machine. In this case, here Z is number of conductor in the machine, P is number of poles in the machine, phi is a flux per pole in Weber, N is revolution, N is a say you can say RPM, revolution in RPM, and in the denominator we have 60 because this is in RPM, and A is number of parallel paths. Now in this expression, you can see that Z is a machine constant, means the number of conductor is not going to change until the machine is being changed. And number of poles is also, if a machine is designed for 4 pole, it will remain a 4 pole machine unless and until we are going to change its construction. And this 60 is a constant, and A is number of parallel paths will depend on the type of winding being done in the machine. If a machine is done with a lap winding, then the value of A will be equals to P. Means the number of parallel path in a machine for lap winding will be equals to the number of poles of the machine. So this parameter ZP upon 60A, this is a constant. And if a machine is wave bound, then the number of parallel path is always 2 irrespective of number of poles in the machine. So if a machine is lap wound, then the value of A will be equals to a value of P. And if the machine is wave wound, then the value of A will always equals to 2. So this ZP upon 60A is a constant. So we can conclude that the EMF will depend on flux per pole and N, that is RPM of the machine and flux per pole. Now, flux per pole is limited by the saturation of the core. If the core gets saturated, then its flux per pole will not increase from after a specific value, while RPM can be increased. So if we want to get a desired output voltage, then we have to change RPM of a generator. So in a short, we can say the EMF of a DC machine equals to ZP phi N upon 60A. So here we have concluded and derived EMF equation. Above equation shows that E remains constant by virtue of field coil parallel path independent of rotation of the armature. So now, in case of this is an EMF being created in both machines, whether it is a generator or whether it is a motor. But in motor, it is called back EMF, while in generator it is called an generated EMF. So the expression for back EMF and the expression for generated EMF would be same. That will be same. That is, we have just derived E equals to the constant multiplied by the machine constant K multiplied by phi N. Now we have to discuss torque equation that will be discussed in next lectures. Thank you.